Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. So today we will work on a very interesting project. We will develop an AI powered application using OpenAI's GPT-3 models and a whisper model to do speech to text, and then we'll use Streamlit to build the UI and integrate the model into it. Okay. So what we are going to do into this video is that we'll take a very small YouTube video, short YouTube video, and then we'll generate the news article based on that video. So first we will get the audio from that video using PyTube. Because it's a YouTube video, we can use PyTube library, and I'll be covering that in bit. And once we have the audio file, we'll send it to Whisper. We'll use the Whisper model locally, and then we'll get the transcript. Once we have the transcript, we'll use that transcript to get the news article. We'll do prompt engineering with the help of DaVinci 3 model by OpenAI, and then we'll get the news article. And the news article and transcript will have options to download them, so end user can download both the files as well from Streamlit directly. So this can be very powerful when the end user, that can be journalist or some any media houses, they can use this kind of application. They still use it, but with OpenAI being so advanced, this can also improve the process right now. So they can add their own thoughts, they can do some research and validation, and they can create a very powerful news article based on the audio or video recordings. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So we'll be again using ChatGPT as a co-founder. We'll ask ChatGPT that what's the right approach to perform this task. Let's see that. So I'll be doing a prompt engineering here again. I'll say I am developing an AI powered application in Streamlit where I'll generate the news article from the video. For video, I'll use PyTube to get the YouTube video, and then Whisper to do speech to text to get the transcript. In end, I will feed this transcript to DaVinci 3 by OpenAI to get the news article. Can you help me with the 5 steps approach to perform this task? So this is my query that I have asked to ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is going to give me an approach that how I can build this solution, right? And it's going to be in 5 steps. The first step is to use PyTube, which is a Python library to work with YouTube videos. Okay, we'll use this library to perform our operations on the video that we are getting from YouTube. So use PyTube to download the YouTube video, then convert the video into audio. We'll not do that. We'll directly use PyTube function to only download the audio file. Okay, we'll say only audio equal to true. I'll be covering that, what I'm talking about. And then once we have the audio, we use Whisper model to perform speech to text. We'll extract the transcript out of that audio file. Once we have the transcript, we will do the prompt engineering, okay, with the help of OpenAI API, and we'll be using DaVinci 3, which is the most capable model of OpenAI at this moment, which is also be called as GPT-3.5. And in end, we'll have the option to download, okay, both the transcript and the news article. So you can also download this. This repository, the code base is here on the AI Anytime official GitHub repository. You can download it from here. And this is a video we are going to use. Let me just play this video. It's a Trump's interview. Some news reporter or some journalist taking interview of Trump, and he's talking about on Muslims. Okay, and we'll use this, and then on based of this video we will generate the news article. Let's see what he's talking about.
Okay, that's what he said. Okay, are they a problem? You tell me. And I say, I don't see the people, I use it often, that knocked down the World Trade Center going back to Sweden. Okay? So he said Muslims are a problem. That was part of what he said. Well, I mean, can you make the case that it's been tough? And by the way, most Muslims, I know many, are great people, just so you put it on the record.
So let's say, do you think Muslims are a problem?
Well, I think a certain segment are certainly a problem, and unless you want to be so politically correct, when you want me to say, oh, absolutely not. I mean, you have...
So this is the video that we are going to take. It's a very short video, around 2 minutes. We'll use this video. We'll get a transcript from this video, and then we'll generate the news article, on top of this video. So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so what is going to be our step? Okay, so let me just go to a tab, and I'll be covering that. Okay, so this is going to be the video. We'll use PyTube, which is a Python library, to get the audio. So we are getting the audio here, video from YT, which is the YouTube. And once we have the audio, now we'll use Whisper, which is the state-of-the-art, ASR model, as released last year by OpenAI, which is an open source model. You can fine tune on your own custom data if you have. Okay, Whisper, and we'll get the we'll perform this HTT, which is again the transcript. So we'll get the transcript. I don't know why I did this vectors. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, we have audio, and then we perform the speech to text to get the transcript. Once we have the transcript, we'll pass this to, we'll do our prompt engineering, and we'll pass it to DaVinci 3 OpenAI model, and then we'll get the news article. So this all will be wrapped, inside a UI. We'll use Streamlit, which will have a file, YouTube link option as a input. We'll give the YouTube link as an input, and then we'll perform all these operations. You see over here, right? We have video, and then we'll use these libraries to get the audio. So input will be video, and the output will be a news article. That will be a TXT file that we'll do. So let's see how we can build this. Let me bring my monitor up. Okay, so let's go to VS Code. Let me open VS Code, open in terminal. Okay. So these are the requirements that we have, the dependencies or the libraries to build this application. We need Streamlit, because we are going to use Streamlit to integrate the models and represent very good UI, very minimal UI. And then we'll use PyTube to get the YouTube video, and we'll be using OpenAI Whisper to get the transcript, and then we'll use OpenAI to perform the prompt engineering and get the news article using OpenAI model like DaVinci 3. And then we have python.env, where we have to use any env file or JSON file or some file to store our credentials of OpenAI, the API key. So what I will do now, I'll create an app.py here, and here I will write all my code. So guys, first thing that we have to import is the Streamlit, because we are going to use Streamlit here, right? So let's start importing the libraries and modules. So Streamlit as st, and if you haven't installed this library yet, you have to create this requirements.txt, and you can also get it from the GitHub. Go and take the repository, clone the repository, and then install these dependencies at Streamlit, PyTube, OpenAI Whisper, OpenAI, and python.env. And then once we installed all those things, we have imported is import Streamlit as st. Now what we have to do, we have to import OpenAI. Once we import OpenAI, we'll do import PyTube to work with the YouTube videos. So what I will do PyTube import YouTube. Yeah. So now what we do, we also import OS to get the keys and all, and then from path lib import path. Import path. Okay. And then we can also import util, and then we need to import load.env, import load.env, and then we have to import whisper, and then we have to import what else, zip file, because we'll have this option where end user can download this transcript and the news article in a zip file, okay, all together. First thing I will do, I will say load.env, which is a function, and now what I will do, I will define my OpenAI API key variable here, which will import the my credentials from that env file that I have created. You can see I have an env file here, right, .env, where you can store your sensitive credentials, like the API key is one of them. Okay, os.getEnv, and here will pass the variable that you have created in the env file where you are storing it. Okay, you have to create a variable, and then it's a string, right, and that's the variable you have to mention here, which is OpenAI underscore API key in my case. Now what we will do, we will use Whisper model. Okay, so Whisper has around 5 models, if I am not wrong. They have 5 open source model: tiny, small, tiny, base, small, medium, and large. Okay, that depends on different weights, the parameters that model has been trained on. Okay, and tiny being the smallest one, and large being the kind of biggest one. Okay, that depends if you have GPU machine, if you have, it totally depends on what kind of computational power you have in your machine to run those models. So today I will go with base model, okay, which comes after tiny, because I think this is just we are just creating a video here, we are not building a product. Depending on the computational power, if you have any NVIDIA GPU, or even on cloud, if you are using some kind of GPU, you can use any other models and you can try it. So what I will do, I will write a function to load this model. So I am creating a function called load model. Here I will write code to load the model. I will say model equals whisper.load. We have imported Whisper above. We have installed pip install OpenAI -whisper. And now what I will do, I will say load model, and then I just pass, which is a string, which will be base here. So this is the model that I am loading, okay, base, and I will just return the model, and I will use this model to get the transcript out of the audio file. We'll also perform a decorator here, okay, that's called st.cache, to keep the model. So model will not be every time I'm running the code or changing something in the code, or when I'm doing some testing, it should not load the model every time. That's what st.cache provides, that we'll mention later. Now let's start writing the YouTube video part, okay, where we will get the audio from the YouTube video URL directly. Let's see how we can do that. So what I will do, I'll say define, and I'll also save this audio in directory. So I'm calling it save audio, and here I will give the URL. So I'm passing URL as a parameter here. That will be a parameter to this function, which will take YouTube URL, and it will give you the audio. It will be automatically saved as well. Now let's see, define a variable called YT, and this is my URL. So we have, if you can see over here, we have imported YouTube, and that's what we are using this method YouTube, and passing this parameter URL. Now first we have to download this video, and then we have to only get the audio. So yt.streams, you see it's suggesting me here, yt.streams dot filter. So PyTube, you can, when you have imported this library PyTube, you can do you can check what all the modules available inside it. How do we do it? We do dir, which is directory, and then pass the import that you have, YouTube, and it will give you all the modules inside it. Okay, so filter Now what I will do here, guys, you can see there are two parameters. You can see there are two params, right, which is very famous, which has been shown here. Only audio, only video. What I want to do, only want to get the audio. I don't want to get the, in this case, I can only get the audio from here. Okay, and then first, very correct. Okay, I'm only getting the audio from this URL, which is an YouTube video URL. Okay, and now my output file. So I'll say out file equals. Let me download. So I will download this variable video.download. It's a function again. That's it. So we have an output file. Now what we'll do, we do not want to get the entire path name of the video that we are getting it, or the audio we are getting it from YouTube. What we'll do, we'll only split the, let's see how we can do, split text and out file. And now let's handle the file name. So what we have to do, let me just show you what I'm talking about. The file name base plus, we're defining it the extension here, that we only need the MP3 file. MP3. We do not need anything else. Okay, we need only the MP3 file. Now we have the file name. Now what we can do, but what if there is nothing available, right? If you are facing some challenges to suppose you have given a YouTube URL, YouTube video URL, and it's not working for your program, how will you handle this, basically the error? How will you do the error handling here? What we can do, you can use try catch to see. So try os.rename, we're trying to rename. So os.rename out file and the file name. Yeah. And then we will write the except. Except what if there's an error? So what will it call? Windows error. Windows error. Okay. It's not a function. Except Windows error. Except Windows error and os dot remove. We'll remove the file name. It's very good. It's suggesting me automatically. Os dot remove and then os dot rename. So basically what we are doing here is, if you are checking if the file is already inside, downloaded the same file name, we will not download it. Okay, if there's on, we can also replace it, right? So os.remove file name and os.rename. So we can also rename it. Okay, except we get not getting any Windows error. Okay, then this program will be executed. Okay, except Windows error. Okay, now let's define a variable called audio file name. We have to let me just note it. So what we are going to do here, if we have download, we'll see it when we download and video basically from YouTube URL link, and when we are saving the audio, the file name is kind of very lengthy. Okay, and we do not need that complete file name. So what I will do, I'll just say file name.stem and then plus dot mp3. Yeah, this looks good. Plus stem.mp3 audio file name. And now let's print that in terminal and see. So print yt.title. Let's print the title. We do not need this. Yt.title and let's print a message. Okay, has successfully been downloaded as downloaded. Okay, as such, like this. Okay, as downloaded. Yeah, print yt title plus has successfully been downloaded. This will print it in the terminal, and we'll see if we are if you are able to get the desired response that we need. Let now print the file name. Okay, so file name, and now let's return this yt.title and audio. Yt.title and audio file name. So this is the YouTube video function that we have written over here. Okay, what we will do, we'll run this program now. But how we run this program now? Let me do one thing. Okay, so save audio. Let's also write all the other functions that we have, and then we'll test it out. So we have save video audio URL, and we have downloaded this audio. Okay, now what we can do, we can also write the function for audio to transcript. Now we have the audio file name here. Okay, and it will not take much time because it's kind of couple of lines of code, and we'll be able to get the transcript using Whisper. So what we'll do now, we'll do save audio to transcript, and here we'll pass the audio file. So the audio file will be an input, and then we'll use the model here, right? We have used this base model that we have created the function to load the model. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll say model, and we'll use this function now. We'll say load model. So here we are loading the model, and now we'll just write a result, and from here we are getting the audio. So what we'll do, we'll say model.transcribe, and here we'll pass this model.transcribe audio file. Now we have the result. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll say transcript. Our transcript will be result and the text. Okay, we only need the text. We do not need the other metadata or something that we are getting when we are running this base model or any other model from Whisper. And we'll just return the transcript. So now we can return the transcript. Okay. So this is audio to transcript. Okay. What we will do here, I was talking about, we do not have to load the model every time if you are running if you have an runtime environment when you are running it. We do not have to load every time. What we can do ht.cache. Okay, so far good. Okay, what we did, we first have written a function that will load the model, from Whisper, and then save audio, which will basically download the audio from YouTube URL, and then save it in your directory, and then we'll take that audio file and then we'll pass it to this audio to transcript function where we are using Whisper. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's write the Streamlit code where we'll have an input box, and in that input box an YouTube URL will be given, and then we'll perform this operations, okay, with the help of the function that we have created. Okay, so the first is ht.markdown. Let's call it I'm calling it news article generator app from video. Okay, ht.markdown. Now we'll also have a header that will basically for your input the YouTube video URL. Okay, input the YouTube video URL that we are ht.header, and then we will the URL link, a variable where we'll have this text input, ht.text input, and in that text input we'll have a label that we call enter the video URL here, something like that. Okay, now let's run this and see if we are getting something. Okay, so what I'll do, how do we run a Streamlit application? We just say, you can see my virtual environment has been activated. Streamlit run app.py. So you can see I have news article generator app from video, a very minimalistic UI just to test your AI or machine learning workflow, okay, with the help of Streamlit. Okay, and we have something called input the YouTube video URL. We have an input box here. Okay, now let's do one thing. Okay, what we will do, we'll write let's try it out. So what I will do is say if ht dot, we'll have a checkbox, and I will tell you that why we are having a checkbox here. So we'll have a checkbox which will say start analysis, because we have to handle the state. I'll tell you what do we mean by session state in Streamlit. When you have nested buttons, it's very difficult to handle the state, sometimes. So what we'll do, we'll have a checkbox here, and we'll have the button for download the zip file, okay, within this checkbox. Okay, so we'll be able to handle the state in a better way. So what I will do, we'll have ht.checkbox start analysis, and then the first thing let's define two variables. So video title, we are getting this yt.title, right? On top, if you see yt.title, which will be returned, and then we also have to get this audio file name. So audio file name, and now we'll use that method that we created, save audio. So save audio, and here we'll pass the URL link, not the URL, so sorry, URL link, where we are, have this variable under Streamlit, okay, from the text input. So this is the first function that we have written. Now what we'll do, let's see if we are able to get the audio. So st.audio, and then we only have to do audio file name here. Okay, so audio file name. We'll first try this out. Okay, if we are able to get the audio file, let's see that. I'll do a rerun. You can see now there have been some changes. Start analysis and enter the video URL. I will go to this. I will take this video URL, the video that we have also seen earlier, and I will just say start analysis. Perfect. So you can see I got an audio file. I can play this audio.
He said Muslims are a problem. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, are they a problem? You tell me. And I say, I don't see the people, and I use it often.
You can see it's the same audio that we have downloaded. Use this video, right? The Trump, somebody is taking interview of Trump and is talking about some internal issues going on in the United States earlier. You can see the audio file has also been downloaded. Okay, does Donald Trump think something? Okay, so let me do one thing. I'll go to this news aggregator folder. You can see this is the audio file which has been downloaded. Does Donald Trump think Muslims are a problem? CNN interview with Don Lemon. Only the file name with extension. Okay, so this is what we have done now. So far so good. So we have this audio now. Okay, so let's also get the transcript. Okay, so what we will do, we'll say, hey, there's a variable, let's define it, transcript, and in the transcript we'll say use this function, audio to transcript, that we created, and just pass the audio file name. Excuse me, sorry. Audio file name, transcript. And now what we can do something, we can st.header or something where we say transcript are being generated, or are being extracted, and just you can also use some success message or some status messages like info warnings and whatnot, right? st.header has been done. Now we'll do st.success. I will use a status message, and here I will pass my transcript. Now let's see if it's working. Okay, so what we have done, we have this audio file name here, and we will take this audio file name and we'll pass to this audio to transcript function that we have written over here. What we are doing here is we have loaded the model, the Whisper base model, and we are using that base model here. We are taking this audio file which we have saved in the directory, and we are generating the transcript basically. Okay, we are running the model and we are extracting transcript, and we are returning the transcript over here. We'll get the same transcript here for the particular audio. Now let's see that. So what I will do, I'll go back to my I'll go back to this Streamlit application, and what we'll do, I'll say start analysis again. You can see it's still running. Let's play the audio. Perfect. So if you don't know about Whisper much, what you can do, you can say OpenAI Whisper, and you can come over here. You can go to their GitHub repository, and you can read the documentation here. They have a very neat and clean documentation. I was talking about these 5 different models. You can read it here. They have different models with different trainable parameters and the relative speed and all this details that will help you. And this is the documentation you can use. So let's come here. You can see transcripts are being extracted, and here we got the transcript. He says Muslims are a problem. Okay, that's what he said. Are they a problem? You tell me. And something is talking about there. Okay, and many are great people, and let's do something. Exactly, this is what we got, right? Here Trump is trying to talk good about Muslims, and I think it's a good thing. Okay, so we have the transcripts here. You can see transcripts are being generated. Now let's go back to VS Code, and you can see we have used both of the functions. So we have used this function to get the audio. We have used this function to get the transcripts, And now once we have the transcript, now we have to do the prompt engineering with this transcript, right? So we have to pass this transcripts to OpenAI DaVinci 3 model, okay, which is the most capable model, which is also been flagged as GPT-3.5. Okay, so let's use this to generate the news article. Okay, how are we going to do that? Okay, so what we have to do first, now we have to create a function here. Let's create a function. So I'll create this function. I'll say, hey, define, and I'll say text to news article. Text to news article. Text to news article. And here what we have to, give, we have to give a text here. Okay, so that will be a text. So text, and here we will write all the code. Okay, from OpenAI. So what we are going to do first, I'm going to define a variable response. And the same thing, if you don't have much understanding about this OpenAI DaVinci 3 models, please watch my previous videos. I have covered them in readme generator video and also the MOM generator video. You can watch that, what we mean by response, what is the prompt engineering, what is the temperature, and all other details. Okay, so OpenAI.completion .create, and in this create, now we'll write all our code. So first thing is the model. Which model do you want to use? We want to use the DaVinci 3 model. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to do text DaVinci and 003. This is the model that, excuse me, let me just do one thing. Here we comma a model, and once we have the model, we have to do the prompt here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to say prompt, and this is very important. Okay, so in prompt we have to let's do this. Write a news article. Write the news article in 500 words, not more than that. And you can do this prompt engineering in another way. It all depends what kind of response you are looking from OpenAI based on your text data that you have. Okay, so 500 words from the below text, and this is the line breaker that I'm using, and here I will pass my text, which has been passed here as a parameter. So text, and this is basically nothing but your transcript, the transcript that we got it using Whisper, from that video or the audio that we have saved here in the directory, right? So now let's define the temperature. So what I'll do, temperature, which is going to be 0.7. Basically it's for randomness and creativity. You can read about it, and if you don't have much understanding, please watch my previous video to understand about temperature or maximum tokens and penalties, right? So maximum tokens, I want to say, hey, let's keep it at 600 because we need the word not more than 500 there, right? So I'm just keeping the max tokens as that, and then we'll have top p equal to 1. Excuse me, top equal to 1, and then what else we have? We have frequency penalty. Excuse me, frequency penalty. Let's keep this 0, and presence penalty as well. Presence penalty as 0. That's it. So this is the function that we have wrote. Now what we have to do, we have to return this. So what I'll do, I'll say return again the response, the variable, and we do not need everything. What we need? Response, we need only the choices, and that we need the first one, and then we need only the text. So text, excuse me, text. This is what, so we have a transcript, basically the text parameter here, and then we'll be using OpenAI.completion.create, and then we are using this DaVinci 3 model. We are doing a prompt here, and then we have temperature, and then we have maximum tokens, top p, frequency penalty, and presence penalty. That's it. So now let's do one thing here, guys. So what we'll do now, so we have st.success transcript. Let's also st.header, and here we'll call it news article. Now here we'll use this result. So what I'll do, result equal to we have to use this function text to news article, and here we'll pass the transcript. So let's, excuse me, transcript. Here we have passed the transcript, and let's do st.success to get the result. Okay, this is what we need. Okay, we had the audio saved here, and we have used that audio to get the transcript, and now we are passing that transcript to get the news article. Now let's see if we are able to get the desired response. I will again do a rerun. Let's remove this, okay. And now let's click on start analysis.
He said Muslims are a problem. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, are they a problem? You tell me. And I say, I don't see the people, and I use it often, that knocked down the World Trade Center going back to Sweden. Okay, so he said Muslims are a problem. That was part of what he said. Well, I mean, can you make the case that it's been tough?
So you can,
by the way,
you can see transcripts are being extracted here. And you can see the news article has been generated here, guys. This is superb. So we have this transcript, and now we got the news article, within 500 words. That's fantastic. So you can read this. Let's read this. So Donald Trump has made a controversial statement regarding Muslims, claiming they are a problem, and his comments have sparked debate among social media users and have been met with criticism from many. In a recent interview with a news outlet, Trump went on to say that he has great friendship with many people who are Muslims living in his building, and a lot of other things that he's talking about it. And he wants to build some kind of policies, if you read here, for them. So fantastic. So now we have the news article, we have the transcript, but to use this we have to copy paste, and we do not want to that has happened. Okay, what we have to do, we have to help end users so they can download it. Okay, they have to download this news article and the transcript. How can they do it? Okay, so we need to keep a button over here which will help the end user to download in a zip file. That's what we want to do. Let's do that. So let me go back to my VS Code. Let me plug in my charger. Just a minute. Okay. So you can see this is we have got the result, and now we have to write. Let me just comment it over here. So write the code to save and download in a zip file or something. Okay, and this is what we are going to do, guys. Okay, so write the code. Okay, excuse me, there's a wrong here. Okay, so that will be write the code. So let's write. So the first thing is we have to need couple of transcript underscore text, a couple of variables here. What I will do, I'll say open, and in this I'll write transcript. This is my file name that I'm going to save, transcript.text w. That's very good. We have to write this. So transcript.text, and then we have to use transcript text.write transcript, and then we'll close this. So transcript text.close. This is what we have to do. The same thing we have to do it for article, guys. So let's copy this and just replace this. Excuse me. And transcript, I'll say article, and I'll just replace this article.txt. Is my file name, and here it will not be a transcript, guys. Here it will be result. That result where we are storing that in variable. You see this result we have, right, where we are getting this new text to news article, and then we save this one. So what we have done, we have created the file name. We have writing it inside that with the help of the variables that we have. And now what we have to do, we have to write this. Let's call it a variable, and we have to use that zip file that we have imported, zip file, and we'll not call transcript.txt. We have to bind both in one. So what we'll call output.zip, and then again it will be write output.zip, and then we have to zip file, and both of them. So first we have to do write zip file write, and the first one is transcript.txt. First one is transcript.txt, and the other one is zip file right, and the other one is article. So article.txt, zip file.write and article.write, and then we'll close this. So we'll say zip file.close. So we have what we have done. We have bind them together out in this output.zip. We have these two different text file there, We want to bind them together in a zip file, and then we will have end user download that. How we can do that? So let's do that. So with open, and it will not be transcript.txt which has been suggested to me. It will be your output.zip, and that will be, excuse me, we have to, as zip download. And now we use this. So let's create a button there. So if button ht.download button, ht.download button, and here we can write all our label. The first is the label. What do we want to name that button? So I'll say, hey, download zip. This is done. We have the label. Now what next? We need the data. Which is your data? Which is my nothing but the zip download, which I have here as zip download. Okay. So data is done. Now file name we know, output.zip, and the MIM. Okay, so application zip. Yes, this is correct. It will be application. Perfect. So this is what we have to do, guys. Okay, so we have created files, transcript and article for both of them. We have created one more file, which is a zip file, output.zip, and we have bind this couple of text inside that zip file, and then we have created this button, okay, Streamlit button, where we are writing the labels and the zip download, which is the file name, the data, and then we are giving the file name and MIME. Okay, so basically now let's run this one. So I think we have written all our code here. Okay, so let me just give you a walkthrough what we did in this. We have imported all the required libraries, and then we had this env file, OpenAI underscore API key, which is in this env file, where I have stored my OpenAI API. You can also go and create an account and get the API key from OpenAI. And then we have written the load model function, where we are loading the Whisper base model. Okay, and we are also doing the ht.cache, which is a decorator, which basically handles to load the model from the cache. Okay, every time you do not have to download the model if you are in the runtime environment. And then you have the save audio, where what we are doing is we are taking a YouTube video URL, and we are only doing audio equals to true, which will only give us the audio file. We are doing some file handling here with the MP3 and path, and then we have returned the audio file name and the title. Once we have the audio file, we are passing it to Whisper model, and we are getting the transcript out of it. Now once we have the transcript, we are passing it to this OpenAI DaVinci 3 model to get the news article within 500 words, and we are also doing some other processing here, like temperature and max tokens. And once we got the news article, here you can see we have integrated into a Streamlit application. We have just used the function to basically represent them on a UI. And once we got those things, we have created couple of files and bind them in a zip file, and the user will be able to download the zip file. Now let's do that. Let's run this one. So now we have this video, we are using it, and now let's run this and see if we are able to get the desired response.
He said Muslims are a problem. Okay, that's what he said. Okay, are they a problem? You tell me.
So you can see we have got the audio here. You can see transcripts are being extracted as well. And the transcripts word error rate are also very good. I cannot see any problem there. It looks very fine. And the news article has been also generated. See, this is superb, right? The news article. You can also see the header, Donald Trump's controversial comments on Muslims, and you can use this completely. Now what you guys can do here, you can also extend this application. You also add a summary function, you add a word cloud function, create a good application. You can create a SaaS product out of it. It all depends on you how you want to take this forward. We have this news article. You can also have an option there, okay, where end user can write their own thoughts. They can mix their thoughts into this generated article, and then they can do paraphrasing, or they can create a powerful news article out of it. All these functions can be added into it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box, guys, if you if you have done something similar and you have extended this to for some other purpose, right? So now you can see we have a download zip option here where you can download the zip file. Now let's see if you are able to download the zip file, guys. You can see it's asking us to download it. So what I'll do, I'll say okay, let's keep it in the download itself, and I have this output.zip file. I'll go here. What I'll do now, okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to, okay, here I have output.1. You can see I have the transcript txt. Excuse me, let me go to download. You can see here we have the output1.zip. What I'll do, I'll just extract here or something. You can see output1.1. Okay, you have see both the files, article.txt and transcript.txt. Let's open it to see if we have able to write the content there. Perfect. So this is the transcript that we have. You can see the same transcript, and this is the article that we have. See the article that we have. Perfect, isn't it? So now you can also write your own. You can edit this file. You can also put some images over here when we are building an article. And you can see all my code and responses are here. Now let me tell you a reason, okay, why I didn't go along with the button here. Okay, so see, we have a nested button, which is the download zip button, which is a nested button inside this button. If this would have been a button here, a Streamlit button, it's very difficult to handle the Streamlit state, the state and state management that we do, because Streamlit, I don't think they still provide it. It's difficult to handle state within a button, a nested button. That's what we did. We had a checkbox here, start analysis, and then we had a button inside it. So it should not be, the page should not get refreshed. You understood what I'm saying, right? So if I had a button here, and when you hit this button, all your responses will be refreshed and you will not be able to get this response there. Streamlit have created something in React state or something that they are doing it, but I don't want that to be happen. I want in the pure Python. Okay, so you see this is the start analysis. I created a checkbox, and here we have a nested button. Even if you hit the download, these responses will be here. It will not be refreshed, and you will be able to see it here. Okay, so you can also try it. I haven't gone through the latest update of Streamlit, but it's very important to handle this state. Okay, so in this video, guys, what we did, you can see that we build an application where you have an input box where you can input your video URL. We can listen to the audio.
That knocked down the World Trade Center.
We can listen to the audio. We use PyTube for this. We use Whisper for the transcripts, and we use OpenAI GPT-3.5 for this news article. And then we had this option where user can download this zip file. Now, if you want to get this all the code, you can get it from this AI Anytime GitHub repository. Go and see the news article generator using ChatGPT and Whisper. You can download it, right? So guys, if you like this video, please like the video and share with your friends, and also subscribe the channel. And if you have any thoughts and feedback, and if you have done something similar in past, or if you want to do something and extend this, please let me know your thoughts in the comment box. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video. See you in the next video, guys.